Hello and welcome to another edition of the Plus One interview, and we haven't had him in a while. Joey is back with us. What is going on, man?
Thank you for having me. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's definitely been a while with all the moving you've been doing, the baseball and all that good stuff, and we got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I gotta ask you about the madness of boxing that happened over the weekend. Keyshawn Davis, what are your thoughts?
Embarrassing. Unfortunate. I could throw out adjectives about this situation, but you really hate to see it because he's a rising star. I think he'll be fine. 5 years down the line, 3 years, 2. I think, it's going to be forgotten. His little jumping situation, his brother's opponent. And he missed weight by 4 pounds. Inexcusable, unprofessional, but I'm not rooting against him, so he'll be fine.
It just seemed like he came in that weekend just like, whatever. So, like, his attitude towards that weekend and that fight, it was just like, whatever. You get your belt taken. You don't really care. You're sitting in the front row just eating popcorn and smiling. And then you go and have nonsense backstage. He was just like, whatever, I don't care. That's like what it seemed like.
It's too bad. I'm just ready for all the great fights this year. I really am.
Yeah.
Canelo, Crawford, I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Baseball season, we had some good stuff happening in the baseball season, right? First, we got to talk about Jack Zimmerman. Jeez Louise. The last game I went, he struck out 13 batters, and then I think in the state tournament, one of the games he had another outing where he struck out 13 batters. Jeez, that young man can pitch.
Yeah, the first 13, that was at the Mullins tournament when we saw each other, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely incredible. And when you talk to Coach Dana, it's 1A, 1B with Zimmerman and Josh Doney. Mm-hmm. To have those two, it's unfortunate that the run couldn't have been stretched out a little longer.
Right.
But they accomplished so much, and I think they have nothing to be ashamed of. And, I'm talk about a 1-2 punch. Right,
man. They both had like control. They both had real good pitching control. I was speechless a couple times because there was just a couple times it was just like 1, 2, 3, just like that. I'm like, what in the? And that was my first time seeing him play at the Mullins tournament. That was my first time. Like,
yeah, and against Swampscott. I mean, Swampscott can play. A 9-win regular season, which they would like more over there. Yeah. But they were right there in the state tournament run. But Zimmerman that night just shut him down. And unfortunately, a week later it was over. But a lot to look back on and be proud of if you're that group.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I think. I think it was one of those things like they were right there too in that game, but it was like the bats it just wasn't their day. It was connecting on the bats, and that's kind of just sometimes how it goes. Because they definitely had all the talent because I know they wanted to get back to, to the state semifinals like they did last year. But yeah, it's they had a good season, like you said, a really good season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we don't have any more Lynn teams, chasing tournaments. But in baseball, I mean, classical did very well. English did well, so.
Yeah, English, they did really well. They went down to Bridgewater. I think it was in Bridgewater. They played, and what the kids told me, it was a pretty close game. It was 2-0 for most part, and then the kid hit a two-run homer for that, and then they couldn't. They said their bats just wasn't connecting that day. So another one of those things you lose 4-0 or something like that, and. Yeah, it's only a 2-run game, and then that home run happens. That's how sports is, like a shift. That's like one play could change everything. So,
yeah, I remember talking to Coach Esteban Paula last year during the Mullins tournament, and they had 9 wins. They just missed the tournament, and I'm just very happy that program was able to get the 10th one this year. Mm-hmm. And even the experience of getting to a tournament game will benefit some of those players, especially the younger guys.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing like experience in the state tournament. Other news that's been going on, the big one that was announced yesterday, Bella Awumi, she will be transferring to Tilton School up there in New Hampshire. That announcement was made yesterday. She did it via her Instagram, and I think her mom made a post too. But hey, the girl got a lot. The girl got a lot. She got a lot of talent and a lot going on with her these past couple months. I mean, it's tough for her to leave St. Mary's, but I think it was one of those things. She had to move on. She had to move on. I think she did. She accomplished what she needed to accomplish at St. Mary's, and I think it's just one of those things. You just have to. Hey, I have to go here and another challenge.
Yeah, we can certainly recap. I mean, her Spartan career was fantastic, as was Lily Norton's,
Right.
Who's also going to the Tilton School. And with Bella, I think, Coach Newhall said it well yesterday when I was talking to him. There's no bad news. Some people might think it's unfortunate, but she went from one great program to another great program. And she's a great player, and I think she's going to get better and better and really have a career for herself, and I can't wait to watch it. We've been very lucky to cover her.
We're extremely lucky to cover her, and all the stuff she's been doing too since the season's been over. I mean, she was part of the overtime thing down there. I think it was down in Florida with some of the other top girls in the country. I mean, she just recently received an offer from North Carolina State, Arizona, and Florida. It's just a bunch of offers have been coming her way these last couple months. So I mean, we're all happy for her. We're all proud of her. But it was, sometimes you just have to go and do something else. And it's nothing against the school, but it's just like another opportunity because you've done all you can for one program. So let's try to do it again. But her and Lily, tough loss. But that program, I mean, they got players coming in too. So I don't think they'll miss her, but I think they'll be all right.
They'll be all right. And what a fitting way for them to go as champions
Right.
in D3, and both fantastic two-way players. I mean, could guard the other team's top players and score the basket on the offensive side. And, I mean, look at Bella, 1,000-point scorer as a sophomore. I know she played, before her freshman year, but averaged 17 and 12 last year, conference MVP, I believe. So
Yep.
A lot to look back on.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been, there's been some coaching hires too since the last time we talked. We got a new basketball coach at Lynn English. We got a new football coach over there at Lynn Classical. A new basketball coach boys basketball coach at St. Mary's. A lot of change. There's a lot of changes happening in the city.
A lot of change, and we'll see how they all turn out.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for every school to create a good product and put on a show. I'm excited. I can't wait for football.
We're only a couple weeks away from football. Coach Smith taking over there at Lynn Classical for Coach Vaughn, who is in Arlington Catholic. So I think Coach Smith is a Lynn Classical alum. I think he was down south for a while, coaching and stuff. And so, we'll see what he brings. What he brings to Lynn Classical, because it's tough to replace Coach Vaughn. It's tough to replace Coach Vaughn. He did a lot.
Very, very tough.
Yeah.
He did a lot off the field too.
Right.
So, Coach Smith won a lot in his past positions, and he's got the pride. He was saying all the right things, and the Ram pride. And I'm just excited. Very different. The classical English rivalry is very different than it was 2 or 3 years ago now.
Right.
So we'll see how the next chapter unfolds.
Yeah, I'm sure he's already hit the ground running and trying to, get the players and restore that. So it's going to be interesting to see. St. Mary's Coach Kilty from Georgetown taking over for Coach Brown. That was a move I didn't see coming, but. You replace a championship-winning coach with another championship-winning coach, so it's going to be interesting to see. It'll be different to see, when it'll be different because Coach Brown was there so long. But it'll be. Well, I'm interested to see how this one goes out. Coach Kilty, as I said, if y'all ever listen to my broadcast, he don't know what the coach's box is. The way he coaches with a lot of enthusiasm, and sometimes he might be on the court and you think he's a player, but there's a lot of enthusiasm with his coaching.
Yeah, a lot of success for Coach Brown, obviously, and great relationships with his players for what it seemed like. And now a new chapter begins, and they've got a lot of depth coming back and some experience, tournament experience. So, St. Mary's will be back.
Yeah, yeah. And then English, Alvin stepped down, Coach Bruce stepped down. I got Coach Dina coming in. He was on the staff that went to back-to-back state championship games. He helped in that order with that run they had from 2017 to 2020. Very familiar with the program. He's an alum, and it's a familiar face at the helm. So the transition will be smooth for him. And they graduated at least like 7 seniors, so they got a lot of underclassmen on their roster.
I think of all the Lynn sports we cover, boys basketball might be the most competitive. When they all play each other. Mm-hmm. You never know who's going to kind of win those tournaments, and they come down to the wire a lot. So new faces just adds to the theatrics, the craziness, and I'm excited. I'm excited to cover all 5 Lynn boys programs.
Yeah. Everybody got a lot to play for next year. Two of them, Tech and Classical, with all the upperclassmen they have, experience they have. This is one of those years, as Coach Bingham, when I had him here, he said to his guys, "This is it." And to his seniors, he said, "This is it. This is your last chance of trying to get there, and they gotta try to seize the moment." But yeah, that's gonna be fun. This basketball season is definitely gonna be fun. All right, we got the Aganis game coming up in about 2 weeks. I know the opening ceremony is on the 22nd. Is it on? Let me double check my calendar. I have it here. It's on the 22nd. Yeah, the Sunday of the 22nd. That will be the opening ceremony. So, and then softball, baseball, soccer, boys and girls, and I think lacrosse. I think all of those games will be played Sunday, and then Monday will be the boys and girls basketball game. And then end it off with the football game that is always really good to watch.
Can't wait. Love the Aganis games. Love the environment. It's friendly, but it's competitive.
Yeah, very.
And don't tell the players the games don't matter, because they'll look at you like, "What? We're going out to win." And I have a blast covering it every year. I know Mark Aboyan, Anne Marie, and myself will be out there.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
Do you know the location of the basketball game?
Oh, I don't yet.
Not yet? Okay, me either. I don't know if it's... Because they've done it at Classical. They did it at Classical. So it might... Because they usually rotate with the schools. So this year, it might be at Tech or it might be at English.
Yeah, I don't know. But the Aganis games as a whole, what, Paul Halloran and those guys do, I love it.
Yeah.
And I got a shirt last year. Love it. But a lot of volunteer work, a lot of hours. So, and they started a while ago.
Yeah.
Just with rosters and reach out and everything. So, very excited to see it be executed again.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got also, as we talking about football, the Shriners game is this Friday in Medford. There's a few guys from the Lynn schools that will be playing. I know Tyler Guy will be playing. Who else? The other running back from St. Mary's, I think he's playing. Why am I forgetting his name?
Dimitri,
yeah, I believe he's playing. I know Limbert Thomas is playing. I think Jaden Rosario might be playing in it too. I'm not sure, but those guys I know for sure are playing. Those 3 I know that are playing. So that one is Friday. Joey won't be there because he's doing tennis.
I believe I'll be covering. I know. Oh, is this the item? the week ahead portion? Yeah, we're going to be covering St. John's Prep tennis is already in its State 1 final spot, and we've got Linfield baseball at Fraser. We're filming.
That's today?
That's today.
Yeah.
So Linfield baseball at Fraser Field tonight in Lynn. Great ballpark. So we got features. We got Athlete of the Week. We got tournaments, and North Shore Navigators have kicked off. So,
yeah, they did.
We're having fun.
Yeah, you can go on vacation after June.
I got one in August. My sister's getting married, so take a week.
Ain't nothing like an August wedding.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like an August wedding. But all right, he said, make sure you guys go to the item and catch up on the stories. They got features, they got updates, they got all that good stuff. Make sure you go check that out. And then we're gonna be resting for a little bit because once once mid-July gets here, we're probably gonna be back and rolling, getting ready for football, going to these little mini camps and then talking to the players and all as they get ready for camp in August. So it's gonna be fun.
We'll find stuff to talk about.
Yeah. There's always something to talk about. I mean, hey, I didn't ask you about your boy before we get out of here. The Times Square fight. I didn't ask you about that one.
You're talking about Ryan Garcia?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. I'm strange. I'm a big fan of Ryan Garcia, and my second favorite fighter is Devin Haney. I don't think anyone else is like that because I know their fan bases are kind of clashing now. But I just loved both of those fighters from years ago. Both not perfect. Ryan Garcia had some problems last year, which we all know about. But he seems like the last year he's calmed down, and it wasn't his night against Rolly Romero. He got knocked down in the second round, and from that point on, he couldn't find his footing, and that left hook was
neutralized.
Yep.
Yeah. They say he needed to get back on the juice again.
Oh man, I don't know.
But what did you think of just like that whole thing about the way they had it, the fight with like no fans like around it, and just it was interesting from the folks that was there, just the whole setup and all that. Right? It seemed like it was more like an exhibition. The matches were like exhibition, like the way it was set up instead of like a real.
I'll tell you the truth. I had about 10 people over to watch those fights. I was pretty disappointed with the energy, because when you don't have 20-something thousand screaming crazy fans, it's not as fun, and I think you could feel it.
Yeah.
Not making excuses, but even Garcia said that after the fight. He's like, I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
So I think it was good to do once. It made for some great art, some great photos, stuff like that. But I'd prefer it old school. Go to Vegas, California, MSG, something like that.
Yeah. And plus, if you're gonna do it outside, have fans, have people around, because they might have felt the energy a little more if there was actually people surrounding the ring or something like that. But hey, man, my man, we'll see you again. Make sure you go check them out. Item Live, everywhere.com, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you go check them out. They got some cool graduation photos too, if you haven't checked it out already. Spencer took them. And we're out of here, folks.